All right, so when you think about the most advanced, cutting-edge AI, what pops into your head? Probably stuff like, I don't know, complex data analysis, maybe self-driving cars, right? But what if I told you the next big test, the real frontier, is being explored with, of all things, a little electric mouse named Pikachu?
Yeah, you heard that right. The biggest names in the game. We're talking Google, OpenAI, Anthropic. They're all turning to the original Pokémon games from the 90s. They're using them as a yardstick, a benchmark, to see what their newest, most powerful AI models can actually do. And it turns out it's a super fascinating and weirdly effective way to figure out just how smart these things are really getting.
But that's the big question, right? Why Pokémon? Out of all the games in the world, why is a game about catching Pikachu the ultimate test for artificial intelligence? What's so special about the world of Kanto? Well, stick around, because that's exactly what we're going to get into.
And you gotta understand that this is just some weird little side project for a few engineers. No way. It has become a full-blown obsession in the tech world. And it's being used as a very serious tool for evaluating AI.
I mean, this whole thing is playing out live on Twitch for everyone to see. You can literally go and watch AI models like Claude, GPT, and Gemini play Pokémon, and you can see them thinking out loud. They're getting hundreds of thousands of comments from people watching. OpenAI apparently had a stream running 24/7 on a TV in their office. Anthropic, they set up a whole Claude Plays Pokémon booth at their conferences. And this isn't some fringe thing. Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, he got on stage and actually celebrated a win for Gemini. So yeah, it's a big deal.
So why? What's the real motivation here? Well, David Hershey from Anthropic, he's the guy who kind of started this whole craze. He put it perfectly. He just said, we're all a whole bunch of nerds. And look, that's definitely part of it. But behind all the fun and nostalgia, there's some really, really serious science going on. And that brings us to the real heart of the matter. See, Pokémon is helping to solve a huge problem in AI research. For a long time, the way we tested these models, it just wasn't cutting it. It had some pretty big limitations. This game, it offers a totally new way of looking at things. Now look, using games to test AI is nothing new. It's kind of a classic tale. You had Deep Blue beating Garry Kasparov at chess way back in '97. Then in 2016, AlphaGo completely conquered Go, a game that's way more complex. More recently, AIs have been tackling these huge open-world games like Minecraft. So Pokémon fits right into this long history. It's just the next step in the evolution, and it's built to test something very specific and very important: long-term reasoning.
And this is the key difference right here. Think about it this way. Traditional AI tests are like a pop quiz. You ask one question, you get one answer. It tests a tiny, isolated piece of knowledge. But Pokémon, that's like a final exam, or even a whole semester-long project. It's not about one right answer. It forces the AI to have a long-term goal, to plan things out over hours and hours of gameplay. And that kind of complex planning, that's way closer to the kind of tasks we actually want AI to help us with in the real world.
Okay, so let's break it down. What is it about the actual gameplay of Pokémon that makes it the ultimate test? Why is it so hard for an AI to master?
Well, the game just throws all these different layers of challenges at you. First, you've just got to navigate the world, and that means solving these tricky mazes and puzzles. That's a huge hurdle right there. Then, at the same time, you have to be a strategist. You're constantly asking, do I train the Pokémon I already have, or do I go out and try to catch new ones? All of that feeds into the bigger plan, which is building a really solid, balanced team that can beat all the gym leaders and earn those badges. And every single one of those decisions is all about achieving that one single long-term goal, becoming the Pokémon League champion.
And that really gets to the core of it. Like David Hershey said, this isn't like Pong, where there's one simple thing to do. Pokémon is so unconstrained. There's no single right way to win. It's this huge, open, complex world. And just figuring out how to even approach that, how to succeed, that is a really hard problem for a computer program to solve by itself.
Right, so we've got the AI playing the game. But what's the point? What are the researchers, the humans watching all this? What are they actually learning? This is where it gets super interesting.
We're literally getting a window into the AI's mind as it works. Check this out. This is an actual quote from Claude while it was stuck in a maze. Wait, I see it now. The x equals 11 wall has an opening at y equals 1012. You can see that aha moment right there in the text. It's not just finding the solution. It's explaining its reasoning to us in real time. It's showing its work. And this is what that actually looks like on the stream. Over on the left, that's the AI's current thinking, where it's basically talking to itself, figuring out its strategy. Then in the middle, you can see it actually updating its own memory files, writing down what it's learned. This is way more than just a game. It's a live, totally transparent look at an artificial mind figuring things out.
Okay, there's a key piece of tech here we need to talk about. It's called the harness. See, the AI model itself, the brain, isn't playing the game all by itself. It's wrapped in this layer of custom software, the harness, which is what actually lets it see the screen and press the buttons, so to speak. So for example, the developers for Claude built a special memory system into its harness. That way, it could remember important things, like where it found a key, and not have to rediscover it from scratch every single time.
So where does that leave us? Let's check the leaderboard in the great AI Pokémon race. You've got OpenAI's GPT and Google's Gemini both in the winner's circle. They've beaten the game. Meanwhile, Anthropic's Claude is, well, it's still playing. It's still on its journey. And it's really important to remember, this isn't just about which AI brain is smartest. A huge piece of the puzzle is that harness we just talked about. How well that custom software is designed makes a massive difference in the final results.
Okay, so a couple of AIs have made it to the Hall of Fame. They beat the game. So what now? Is it game over? Where does this whole experiment go from here?
Oh, not at all. The quest continues. For the champions, GPT and Gemini, the developers are basically saying, okay, on to the next level. They're already starting them on the Pokémon sequel games, which are even more complex, with more Pokémon, more stuff to do. The goalposts are always moving.
And this quote from Jonathan Varon, he's the dev behind the GPT Plays Pokémon stream, I think he just nails it. He says, this is a perfect game for AI right now. I haven't found as good an example as Pokémon. And that's the thing. For where AI is today, Pokémon is the Goldilocks problem. It's not too simple, not too hard. It's complex enough to be a serious challenge, but it's also structured enough that you can actually measure progress on the exact things researchers care about, like that long-term planning we keep talking about.
Which, of course, leaves us with one big final question to think about. We've seen this progression, right? AI mastered chess, then it mastered Go. Now it's tackling Pokémon. Each game was a step up in complexity. So if Pokémon is the perfect test for the AI we have today, what comes next? What kind of challenge, what kind of virtual world, what sort of game will we have to dream up to truly test the AI of tomorrow?